And I'm Bukhembele.
And together we are the Professionista.
So, Aurelia, tell us, what is the Professionista all about?
Well, B, I'm glad you asked that question. The Professionista is a virtual space for women in corporate and entrepreneurs who are corporate climbers, all women in all spheres and all industries. So it's not specific to the legal fraternity, to IT or anything like that.
It covers all disciplines.
Yeah, absolutely. It transcends through all industries.
Exactly, and direct to women. So straight from your young girl who's in high school, thinking about her career and how will she be able to start and how does she actually decide on the subjects that she chooses, straight into transition to varsity, right?
Where now you are actually studying for your career and then straight into the corporate world.
And that is a very difficult transition for a lot of people, especially for people who lack resources. And we are here because we have had our own journeys. It hasn't been easy. Aurelia has had her exciting journey, so have I, and we've managed to reach our goals in our own specific way.
And now it's a chance for us to pass the baton, because we are at intermediate level, but there are beginners. People are entering the corporate world while we are also aspiring to be the well-seasoned corporate women.
Absolutely.
There are also young women that are looking up to us. So us at intermediate level are aspiring to be greater, while there's somebody behind us who's also aspiring to be us.
Yeah. So this is a definite relay run. It doesn't have a beginning, it doesn't have an ending. Well, probably it does have a beginning, but not really an ending.
Yeah.
And it's important that you find the right people who you can connect with to make sure that you reach your end goal.
So our mission and our vision is to connect, to impart. That's our tagline.
To inspire.
To inspire, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And also just network and connect with the right people.
Yeah.
Build a network of powerful women working together, teaching each other and imparting so much knowledge about the corporate world, about entrepreneurship, anything of the sort for all women.
Yeah. But maybe here's another interesting thing. If Aurelia can take us through a summary of her journey, because there's many ways to skin a cat.
So my journey in my career hasn't been so clear cut. I mean, there's been instances where I started my degree and at some point I stopped and then started working, and then I remember my grandparents were very afraid that I wouldn't go back to studying, and 6 months into my first job I went back into studying, and I was so lucky that the company I was working for paid for my studies. So I was very blessed in that aspect, because while I was working I got I also got a lot of discipline. So if you're working and studying, you also acquire, it's very difficult, and you acquire a lot of self-discipline where nobody is going to be checking up on you whether you're studying or not. So for me it was that, and I mean I've been all over. So with law it's such a diverse degree that you can actually end up anywhere, which is something I only learned when I was in the corporate world, because when you're strictly in varsity, because I started off at UKZN, so there's only like one path that they show you. So it's either you're a criminal lawyer, or when you go do your articles, or do you get what I'm saying? So it was never, even when I was doing work experience, it wasn't a law firm, so I'd never actually envisioned myself in the corporate world working as an in-house legal counsel. Only until I got into the corporate world, and then I was like, oh wow, there's also this option. So those are things that I learned that I also pass on to younger people that ask me a lot of questions on my Instagram or on my Twitter. So my journey has been all over. I mean, I've done law, I've been an anti-money laundering officer, compliance management certificate from UCT, corporate governance. I've diversified so I can go anywhere.
And I think that's great about having that kind of skill set, because you're not narrowing yourself down into one specific career.
Absolutely.
So you've got a variety of opportunities and channels that you can open yourself up for. Because I took the same route.
It's very interesting how we actually met. We met at book club.
Girls who read, our girls who stay power.
Absolutely. So with her, when I met you, your journey was so interesting for me, because it was so different from mine, because mine is a formal education journey, whereas yours is different.
So I mean, I had my one stint at university, and my mom said to me, well, I don't have money. And I think a lot of people get to hear that, you know, especially if you come from an underprivileged background where you actually lack resources and you need to make means with what you have. And I promise you, I mean, I'm you know, and I had this vision that I wanted to see myself doing amazing things.
And you are doing amazing things.
And I was not going to let anyone stop me.
Absolutely.
And yes, it hindered me, it broke me, but I think it made me resilient and made me want to actually focus in the career that I wanted. And I knew I loved people, but I just didn't know what exactly did I want to do with that.
Yes.
I continued with my HR degree, and I studied, just like how Aurelia said, you know, that studying and working, it's definitely not easy, but it will show you that you can be disciplined and
Absolutely.
You can
It grounds you so much,
right? And I think what I learned very quickly is how to connect myself to people.
Absolutely.
And how to network with people and how to remember people for the smallest things and actually take an additional effort.
And you as well are so memorable. You are such a ball of energy. I can't. Like, I was like, when I saw you the first time I booked out, I was like, that is it. This is who we are going forth with the Professionista.
Together,
we're here.
And I mean, so I've changed jobs, I've changed industries within my career. So I've worked within management consulting, I've worked within banking, I've now currently in auditing, and my passion has consistently been on young people, especially people who don't have the opportunities to get funding or to actually think that I can actually go to university when they hear no and they decide, okay, I'm going to stay home. But actually that no is not the end. That no is go knock at the next door or knock at the window and see if there's someone actually inside. I'm that type of person. So, you know, right now I head up an audit graduate program where I identify top talent, young talent. I'm not a CA, but you know, the role that I'm in requires a person to be a CA, but they saw that I had the passion, I had the determination, and I had the skill set of doing it. So not having a qualification doesn't mean that you cannot. You know, I mean, it's definitely something I want to aspire to. Not the CA, not the CA. I'm not a number cruncher.
Yeah, but a formal education.
But a formal education.
I'm very scared of numbers, so no. I'm good. I'm good with numbers. That's why I did law.
Right?
No.
So like stick to the safe side.
Yeah.
So
give me history.
I'll do that. I like actually reading history. Okay. So it's very important that, you know, for the young people, the young people coming up, you know, to have a great start. Yes, we don't always have the great start, and I think that's what makes the Professionista such a great story to tell, because it's women who've walked different walks of life, and yet have managed to get to their end goal. They've managed to reach their dream.
And just to also reiterate that, you know, people think that straight from varsity, when you've got your degree, you have it all figured out, and that's not the case. I've changed direction so many times. As I said, I've been an anti-money laundering officer, I've done corporate governance, I've been a fraud investigator, I've been a fraud girl, you know. So I've diversified, and in collecting all the certificates and the formal education as well as the experience has helped me with what I want to do, you know. So I'm in a position where now I'm an in-house legal counsel, but I can, like, when I'm looking for a job and it says risk advisory, I can fit in.
Absolutely.
You know, legal advisor, I can fit in. So it really does help to diversify yourself, and that I couldn't have learned all by myself.
Absolutely.
I learned from my mentor. I learned from speaking to other women who have already walked the path ahead.
Actually, you're touching a great point. I think let's talk about that connection of women.
Yes.
Because, you know, it's all great that we have careers, we aspire to a certain level, but you definitely cannot do it alone.
So that is it from us, the Professionistas. So we would love to hear from the rest of the Professionistas in South Africa.
So don't forget to get in touch with us and connect with us on all our social media platforms. That's on Twitter, that's @1Professionista, Instagram @the_Professionista_ZA.
Not forgetting our website www.theprofessionista.co.za, where we have more information that we are sharing and we are connecting even more. So don't forget, let's connect to impart.
Yes. Hello.